baseball in 2016. Hi everybody, I'm DJ Walters. I'll be the voice of the Rockford Rivets this summer, and I am joined by the manager of the Rockford Rivets, Brian Smith. And Smitty, I guess you're pretty excited. You got to put this roster together, and now come Tuesday night, you get to see how it sort of takes shape.
Yeah, it was a fun off season getting to put the roster together and getting to know a lot of college coaches who I hadn't spoke to before, and getting to know these guys, very little, but at the same time getting a good grasp of the type of personalities they have and trying to make sure I get the right group of guys, not just talent-wise, but personalities too. So it'll be fun when they all start showing up this weekend, and hopefully by Monday they're all here and we can be ready to roll on Tuesday.
How big of a challenge is that? Because you're coaching your own team, you're trying to have a successful season, and you're recruiting these guys for a summer league that nobody in Rockford has ever seen. How big of a challenge have the last 6 months been since the announcement of the franchise?
At first it was difficult because the team hadn't existed, and I was making phone calls before the team was announced to the league to try to sign players. And then as the winter went on, it started to get a little bit easier, started to get a little bit more fun, got a little bit more interactive with some schools. And the last month has been real difficult because now players are meeting innings limits. They're getting injured. They're, having trouble with classes, so they need summer school. So, from the initial roster to now, there's been 8 guys released or 6 guys released just based on getting hurt, innings limits, things like that. So everybody in the league at this point is out there looking to sign best available per position. So we're all in that same pond looking for the same fish, really. But it's been fun, and again, I'll be more relaxed on Monday when I have a team to put on the field.
Although this is a new franchise, you've been in this league before, announced to the all-decade team. From your experience, what kind of separates this league from others that are going to be taking place at the same time this summer?
Well, as a college player, I only have one league. I played in the Northwoods for 3 years. I coached in it for a 4th, and just having friends that have played in the Cape, played in the CICL, the Texas Collegiate League, the atmosphere that these stadiums, these towns, these neighborhoods, these communities bring to each game is head over heels above all those other leagues. Guys play in the Cape and they love it. They play 49 games in front of 110 people. And when you step to Madison, you're going to be playing in front of 7,000 people every night, 6,500 every night. And it's exciting. It's why people play baseball. You put on a uniform and you have everybody looking at you. It's a very cool experience to get out there. And I went to a mid-major school, so it was cool to have fans. You don't really get them at your home games at school. So it's going to be an experience for a lot of these guys. And the bigger school guys from Texas Tech and Rice, they may draw fans all the time, but it's still going to be a fun experience because they're coming from another side of the country. So to a new atmosphere, to Rockford, Illinois, to southern Wisconsin, to southern Michigan. So they're going to be in a new atmosphere, in a new world too. So it'll be cool. These guys are going to love it.
What challenges do the next, say, 2 weeks present to you as a coach, having not actually coached these guys in a live game situation?
Well, the most challenging part is going to be this weekend when NCAA regionals finish up, because I will know for sure late Sunday night who I expect to be in town by Tuesday. So those 2 weeks, looking into the future, it's just finding out, where guys like to hit, putting them in the best positions to succeed, to help themselves and us. And in the end all, we want these guys to have great experiences. We want to win every game we go out there, but they have to be able to develop too. So if somebody is not comfortable being a leadoff guy, I'm going to have to make an adjustment, because he's not helping himself, he's not going to help the team, he's not going to help me out at all. So I need to look through all the personalities, all the, their careers. Just because guys don't lead off at school doesn't mean they won't lead off here. There's a lot of 2-hitters on our team. Well, they're going to have to hit somewhere else if they want to be in the lineup. So everybody's going to have to make adjustments, myself included. But it's just something that we're going to have to go through day by day until we find that right group. And then hopefully when the College World Series is over and everybody's here, we got a full roster, and then we can mesh things together for a good run.
What was the biggest selling point that kind of sold you on coming to Rockford? And I guess along those same lines, has it been very easy to sell the players to, hey, come to Rockford. Yes, it's a new franchise, but we're going to have a lot of fun this summer.
You know, the league sells itself. And I'm familiar with Rockford. I went to Northern Illinois, and I played in the Frontier League for 2 years, and I coached in it for 3. So I've been to this stadium plenty of times. I've played in it. I've coached in it. I know a little bit about the community. I have an old college roommate who lives in Rockford. You know, I know Rockford from being here. You know, selling the community to people from Texas or Arkansas or Florida, it's a little bit more difficult because they don't know anything about it. They think they're coming to Chicago. They want to go to Chicago after a day game, and you know, it's not that close to Chicago. So you have to tell these guys that it's not Chicago. And you know, I don't want to offend anybody in Rockford, but they consider it as far west as Chicago's boundary goes. Being from the south suburbs, I would consider this not Chicago.
The coaching family, so to speak, it extends far and wide. Is it awkward to talk to maybe a coach at Texas Tech or a coach at Rice and get a plan together, because frankly they want to keep their guys as long as they can because that means they're playing in the College World Series in Omaha? Is there any awkward stage there?
Well, they're all real honest with me, and they tell me, we hope he doesn't show up opening night. And really, I'm on the other line thinking to myself, I hope he shows up opening night. You know, nothing against you, you know, number 8 in the country, you know, Team X. But we all have jobs to do. They want to win. I want the best players available for my roster to be here as soon as possible. And again, if one of the guys on the team goes to the College World Series and has the experience of a lifetime, I'm going to root for them. I'm not going to root against them, let's be honest. It's just one of those things where the competitive nature in everybody wants the best players to be on the team for as long as possible. So it's, you know, you get a little chirpy with some schools, and it's all fun, and you know, some schools have great personalities, and it's just something we got to mesh with. And if I'm talking to an old school guy, you got to tone it back a bit. If you're talking to a younger guy, you can be yourself. So it was a fine experience, and again, I didn't have an issue with anybody really, and I hope moving forward I don't.
Last question. You've mentioned how you played here and you've had many opening nights. Do you have one opening day, opening night memory that has stayed with you through all these years? And if so, what is that?
I don't remember which year it was. When I played in Madison, our manager at the time always wanted to steal home on opening night to get everybody just erupt in the ballpark. And he did it, I want to say it was my second year, so it would have been 07. And the guy was out by like 8 feet. But the second he took off, 7,000 fans on opening night in Madison went ballistic. He was out. Terrible idea. But it was exciting, being in the dugout watching him, thinking to myself, he's running right now. What's going on right now? And the place went crazy, but people were talking about it. You know, the entire season, like, whenever the largest crowds of the year showed up, our manager would want to steal home because he wanted everybody to be engaged in the game. He wanted them watching the game. And when you're in Madison, it's a circus. There's stuff going on everywhere. So he wanted their attention on the field. So it was cool, and it's just things like that stand out to me, and I wasn't the guy to do it. So I don't remember, you know, having a super cool experience like that, but just something like that, something little, but I thought it was great.
Coach Brian Smith of the Rockford Rivets will have all 72 games for you on either Northwoods League TV or on our YouTube page. Go to Rockford Rivets on YouTube, and we'll have plenty of fresh content, much like this interview all throughout the season. For Coach Brian Smith, for our camera crew, Amy Page and Yemi Sosina, I'm BJ Walters. Thanks for joining us. We will see you Tuesday night at 6:35 at Rockford Rivets Ballpark for the opener against Wisconsin.